Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. And in today's video, I want to share with you guys the best settings to use to improve your aim as far as right now. I want to show you guys the best settings to use to help you aim a lot better and a lot more consistent here in this game. So if you guys are struggling to hit your shots or just looking for some very good settings to change to help improve your consistency with aim, these are the settings you guys want to put on. So definitely stay to the end of the video. And real quick, before I get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away 2,000 V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys would like to participate in the next giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload and when I announce the winners every Friday. And lastly, make sure you guys put down your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account down in the comment section below, and you guys will be automatically entered into the giveaway. And lastly, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do, go down to the bottom right, hit on support a creator, type in my creator code, which is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator in the item shop. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I want to be sharing with you guys the best overall settings to use to help you aim better and hit more shots. So here, going into the settings that I have and that I would recommend for you guys to use to aim a lot better. So for my building and editing, I have a 2.0 and a 2.1. So my building is 2, editing is 2.1, and then my horizontal speed is a 44%, with my vertical speed as a 43%. Now this sensitivity has to be one of the best sensitivities I have used to improve my aim, in which I'll go into the reasons for that in a minute. And when you're choosing a great sensitivity to help you aim, there's really 3 main things you guys want to look for to find a great sensitivity for you. And I feel like these settings hit all those 3 things. So just to real quick get into those 3 things, the first thing that you want to have for really good sensitivity for improving your aim is going to be control. You want to make sure you're able to control your sensitivity very well, because there is a lot of great sensitivities, say, great higher sensitivities, but someone like myself isn't able to control sensitivities above like a 55. So I tend to go a little bit on the lower end. Some people can control, really high sensitivities a lot better, but someone like myself, I like a little bit on the lower ends, and I feel like I have a lot more control, and I feel really comfortable with the sensitivities that I have. So control is going to be the first thing. The second thing is being able to turn around fast enough, because you don't want to have a sensitivity that's too low to where you're just turning around too slow, someone jumps over you, or maybe you're trying to turn around in a box. You want to make sure that you're able to turn around quickly enough when, you're in a box fight and the other player goes for maybe they jump over to your left side or your right side. You want to make sure you're fast enough. You don't have to be too fast, but just fast enough to you're able to at least kind of turn around and at least kind of counter what they're doing as far as fighting in boxes. And then the third thing you guys have to make sure you have is you want to make sure you're really comfortable with the sensitivities that you have, because there is a lot of sensitivities that I've seen people use that works really good for them, but for me it just feels really uncomfortable. So the third thing is you have to find a sensitivity that you feel comfortable with. So if you're used to lower sensitivities, you probably want to play on a little bit lower sense. Now if you like higher sensitivities, then maybe you want to stay a little bit towards the higher end. But kind of my general rule of thumb is when you lower your sensitivity, it's almost never going to worse your aim. Generally speaking, the only time you really have issues with changing your sensitivity and hitting shots is if you raise your sensitivity. So if you are playing on a medium to higher sensitivity and you're struggling to hit shots, my first recommendation is always to lower your sensitivity. And I feel like the sensitivity that I had, the 44 and a 43%, is a great sensitivity to try out. And maybe if you want a little bit higher, you can raise it, maybe up and down 1 or 2 points. But I think that sensitivity is a great one to use for a lot of players. It's quick enough to turn around, it feels comfortable, and it has a lot of control with it. And then the 2.0 for building and the 2.1 for editing is great as well, because if you play on a little bit lower of a building and editing sensitivity, you're not going to be overcorrecting as much, and you're going to be more in control with a lower building and editing, because I used to play on a higher building and editing sensitivity, but the one problem I ran into is sometimes you would overcorrect, where you would go for an edit and then you finish off the edit and your crosshair is all over the place. So playing on a little bit lower of a building and editing sensitivity could improve your aim as well. So maybe dropping those settings down as well could be the difference between missing a shot and hitting one. And so going into the rest of the sensitivities that I have, My ADS is a 13% for my X when I'm looking left to right, and a 12% as far as the vertical sense. Now, I think this sensitivity is really great for aiming for a lot of reasons, because this sensitivity heavily focuses on the mid and close range of fights and shots, because when it comes to controller, there's almost no aim assist at long range. I mentioned this a couple of times before, but if you ever try to aim your assault rifle from, say, a decent amount of distance away, like say you're long range from another player, there's almost like no aim assist at all. And if you want to hit long range shots, you're better off playing on exponential settings. So in linear settings, I mean, you're not really going to have too much accuracy at like really long ranges. So you just want to have a sensitivity that's really good and comfortable in the mid range to also close range situations. And then as far as my look damping time is on 0, and then my dead zones is on 10% on both, which it just depends on your controller, because if you have more stick drift, then you would play on a higher dead zone. But 10% for both works perfectly for me, so that's really just based on how your controller feels. But as far as your X and Y sensitivity, I would classify this range as like a medium range. And this is where you want to focus your sensitivity at. So you want a sensitivity that's fast enough to be able to go in between players, but not too fast to where the point where you're not able to make those smaller crosshair adjustments from this range. Like I said, just disregard long range altogether, because this is really just too hard to hit shots. Maybe you get a lucky shot here and there, but from this range, you should be able to hit your shots really consistently and accurately, and you're going to be able to do that on the sensitivity that I showed, give or take a couple points. If you're on like a 14 or 15%, I think that's good as well, but I wouldn't go below like a 10%, and I probably wouldn't go above like a 16 or 17%. Otherwise, it can be kind of tricky to hit shots from this range. But this range is really good with the sensitivity, and also close range when you're trying to aim down your shotgun at close range. Because sometimes when you're running a corner, you want to maybe aim down your sights with your shotgun. Not every time. The majority of the time I end up hip firing, but there is a couple shots here and there where I want to go for a quick ADS shot with my shotgun to try to line it up a little bit better. And if you're on anything lower than, I would say, a 13%, you're not going to be able to do that with the shotgun at close range. So that's why I have it as 13 as my lowest, because any lower than that, it just gets too difficult to try to even use your shotgun ADS at close range. So, I mean, you can, but you're not going to be able to make any corrections at all. You basically have to like quick scope them and just hope your shot is perfectly aligned. And at that point, you might as well just hip fire and hit your shot that way. So I would plan at least a 13% if you want to be able to use your shotgun and SMG at close range while aiming down your sights. But those are just my recommendations for aiming down sight sensitivity. And just to give you guys a quick gameplay tip that you guys can use that I have found to be very helpful for, as far as gameplay. It doesn't really help you improve your accuracy, but it's a really good gameplay tip that you guys should 100% be using if you're not. So there's just a couple things you want to do. So the first thing is, whenever you're box fighting another player, you always want to be moving in your box, even if you go for a really obvious play. Maybe if you go for like the simplest edit, because whenever you're moving or moving around in the box and you're not stagnant, when you have control of a wall, there's like 6 or 7 different plays you can go for. So if you're moving around a little bit, it makes it harder for the other player to kind of read and to judge what play you're trying to make, versus if you're just only standing on that right side. Even if you want to go from that right side, you kind of want to sway back and forth, because otherwise it's going to be too predictable. And a lot of the times, if you can just get the other player to hesitate a little bit, and that's really all you need to be able to win a gunfight. And also, another really good thing to do as well is you never want to go for the same shot twice in a row. So if you go for an edit and you miss your shot, you either want to go for maybe a different edit, or what I like to do is, if I miss a shot in a box, I'll maybe ramp out, build another box, or maybe I'll ramp out and then try to go for high ground. But you never want to go for the same shot twice in a row. So if you miss your shot, usually just cut your losses and then try to go for a different play. Maybe try to go for high ground. Maybe try to come from a completely different angle. Just try to do some other play than the one you did, even if that shot's still open. Typically, most of the times that I end up losing gunfights, I should have hit a shot, and because I should have, I went for that exact same play again, and when I did it, then the other player hit me for like a ton of damage, when I should have just like ramped out and made a different play altogether. But those are some really good tips that you guys can use to help improve consistency in gunfight. Just don't go for the same shot twice in a row. Always try to mix it up every time you challenge or even go for a shot. But with that being said, I really appreciate you guys watching the video. If you guys could, make sure you guys do hit that like button. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Hit the notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload. And as well, do live stream every day on this channel at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new live stream. But with that being said, really appreciate you guys watching the video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.